welcome
to
Masters of Music Podcast. I'm Jason Voorhees Mraz.
And I am Darth Axidius Rose. And this is episode 13.
I'll slaughter you.
Do you know where you are, Jedi? You are in the jungle, Jedi. Now, you will die!
All right, so this is our Halloween episode, and we want to give you guys a nice little sneak peek of what's happening behind the scenes. We want to introduce you to our crew, who are also dressed up in Halloween costumes, and it's pretty rock and roll, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah! So here is Arthur.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arthur! So let's talk about who we have on the show.
Yeah, this week we have
Billy Sheehan! Yes, masterful bass player. He's in so many amazing bands like the David Lee Roth Band, Mr. Big, Winery Dogs, Sons of Apollo, and he's played with UFO and so many other groups. He's an amazing session player to this day, too.
And the dude just keeps on killing it.
This week, instead of music news, we wanted to give you a treat by paying tribute to Billy Sheehan himself by performing one of his songs off the first Winery Dogs album.
Hope you enjoy.
Who can kick you when you're down, and it shows no mercy. It makes me smile to see you frown, but just wait and they will see. This would kill the weaker man, but it's been keeping me alive through all the somehow I know I will survive. And when the clouds have all passed by, they'll see we'll both be standing when sunshine turns to green. You saved me in my darkest hour. You stood by me
let's move on because it's time for
Billy Sheehan! There you are! Awesome! Oh my God, how are you doing? How's it over there in Nashville?
Great, doing great. Having a great, beautiful Saturday here today. Blue skies, nice and warm, and crisp and cool at night. It's been very nice.
awesome.
That's awesome. Do you partake in the Nashville writing sessions at all? I'm sure you know those legendary sessions in the morning and the afternoon.
No, I've done some writing sessions with some writers here, but most of that is, I think it's more for pop music and
Right.
things of that nature, which is not my. They won't let me in that game.
No,
I'm kind of glad.
no, it's awesome. Like we were just listening to the Oblivions and trying to see if there's like a Pink Floyd kind of a mix thing where you can put both Oblivions from Winery Dogs and yours from your solo record at the same time. And we heard the
Yeah, we played them
secrets-
at the same time. We're trying to see if it somehow
Did it
coincides.
work?
there's points maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. The snare landed at one point, but
I'll take that as a no.
yeah.
We tried every way possible. But awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for being on the show. We love you so like this is like a dream.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, we wanted to know basically what we'd like to introduce our audience to is how you became you. How did Billy become Billy? Like why you started playing bass and how did this like the story of the Bill
Sure
Master?
thing. Well, I was very young back when dinosaurs roamed long ago, and I always liked music and listened to radio. I had an older brother and sister, so they were already into things. So I was kind of ahead of my time because I listened to what they listened to.
Yeah.
So I always liked music and I enjoyed it, but I never thought about playing it until I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. It was their first appearance on American television, and the whole world went crazy. And every guy that saw that show and saw the girls screaming said, "I want that job."
Yeah.
So it launched literally millions of careers, and I've got iTunes collections of all the bands from that era, mid '60s or so, all the garage bands, and everybody was playing the Beatles, not just in USA and in England, in Germany and France and Ecuador and the Philippines and China. It was everywhere. So it made quite a huge impact on the world, certainly on me. And then from there, I just was on the pathway of music, so I just followed it. And, the Beatles were, at the time, rock, and I guess you wouldn't even call it pop back then, really, I don't think. And then eventually your tastes change and mature and expand, and then I started listening, and then Hendrix came out. And then the first concert I ever saw was Jimi Hendrix.
Oh.
And that was life-changing. So I got to see Jimmy.
Wow.
And so after that, I was really inspired because I felt like any instrument, it really has no limitations. Drums, guitar, bass, sax, keyboard, no limitations. So I got into a lot more different kinds of music, even classical music, a little jazz. Got into the first wave of real progressive music, King Crimson, Genesis, bands like that. Then AC/DC, and everybody on from there. But I'm glad that I'm as old as I am because I got to listen to a lot of music and watch it go from the very beginnings right through, getting a little heavier and then get a little progger and then a little more heavy and then more pop and all the different styles that went through the music business. So it was really cool to watch that and have it affect me. So I was in a band in Buffalo called Talas. We started out just basically as a bar cover band. We didn't play any originals. We didn't even think about making a record. And we played night after night after night after night. One night we did 21 one time we did 21 shows in a row. One day we did 3 whole shows in one day. Set up, play, tear down, set up, play, tear down, set up, play, tear down. And so we just played constantly, and all kinds of music too. Mostly vocal stuff, like Three Dog Night, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Grand Funk Railroad. Then we played everything by the Stones and the Beatles and Hendrix and everybody. Then some obscure bands that we started doing. Schizoid Band by King Crimson, songs by Bebop Deluxe and Robin Trower and all these bands, and just as a part of our set list. So this kind of trained us to play songs of all kinds of styles. So it was a big help later on when I began to write, because I had all this influence to pull from, all these different bands, all these different forms of songs and ways of songwriting. So eventually Talas started doing original music, went on. Actually, today is October 3rd, is the 40-year anniversary of Talas opening for Van Halen. It was our first show, October 30th.
God.
Damn.
Oh my God.
So your show is my first announcement of it. I haven't posted it on Facebook or anything yet, so you guys got it first.
Yeah. You got it first. Oh, whoa.
So that was an amazing thing. And then we went on from there, and eventually by 85, we still hadn't gotten signed. The band changed around a bit, and I'd gone after the tour we did with Van Halen. Every time they toured again, I would go out, and the crew guys knew me, so they let me back, and I would speak with the band and stuff like that. So it was, I wouldn't say it was their friend, but they knew me, and I knew them, and they were wonderful, very kind to me. And so eventually, by summer of 85, Talas was opening on Yngwie's first American tour. We played together on that, and just as we started the tour, I got the call from David Lee Roth to come out to L.A. and start the Eat 'Em Smile band.
Yeah.
And then when that ended in about 87, 88, I started Mr. Big, and we had hit records, and now there's the Winery Dogs and Sons of Apollo and a couple of other things in between. So it's just a matter of getting up, playing, just pounding away. I never thought about making it or being rich or being famous. We just wanted to play. I think that was a big help, because sometimes those goals are bad goals. Like, so I want to be rich. No, I want to do something amazing. And then wouldn't it be great if people paid me for it?
Yeah.
That is a better goal than wanting to be rich. Or somebody saying, I just want to be happy. That's not a good goal. I want to accomplish something. Then you'll have great happiness. So it was a similar thing. I really just wanted to play, do my best, learn everything I could about this thing here. And here I am today, 2020, and Winery Dogs will be probably working on a record soon. Sons of Apollo had a new record out when the pandemic hit. I'm working out of my house. I'm recording now. We're coming up on almost 100 songs recorded here for clients all over the country, all over the world, really.
Oh.
From I just got paid today from a guy from Belarus. In Minsk in Belarus. He sent me a track to play on, and from Japan and South America and all over the place. So it's been. I'm very grateful for being able to go through this adventure, and everything I own, everything I have, comes from somebody buying a T-shirt or a ticket or a record, and I never forget that, because everything I have came from the kindness of people who came to my shows, bought stuff, bought a T-shirt and all that. So I always remember that, and I'm forever grateful to the people that have been there and given me a wonderful career. So there you have it.
There you have it. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that, and it's like they get it from record companies and all this, and it is from the people, like the.
It is.
Yeah, and because I still play at like places where there's 2 people, and I have like one fan in Wisconsin that drew a picture of me. That's my biggest fan, right?
Right.
So I love Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin, my favorite state.
Best say.
Yeah, but it's like, you can't forget that.
That's so cool. And I love what you said. Like, man, you guys really earned your stripes playing so many shows over and over again. And I love how you to this day with Sons of Apollo, you're reaching out for something new musically. I can tell on stage. You're like, I've got to go. Like, is there anything? This is just personally, so I know. Like, do you have any sort of? I'm sure you do. Like some sort of ritual or something you think before stage. Like, I gotta like, just so I reach that. I want to go somewhere new today. Is there like, do you put yourself in a certain spot or?
Before I go on stage, I don't know. I spend a lot of time warming up. Like I'll get into the venue around noon. One of my crew guys, if he's not too busy, will set up my little amp in a spot. I'll grab a coffee and I'll start playing. Go. Warm up, do all my stuff, come up with some new things maybe. Then there's sound check. Then after that, I usually continue to warm up for a little while until the opening act starts, and that's my cue to get dressed and tuned up and get ready to go. And I don't really think too much about going on stage. I know I'm just about pretty close to about 5,000 lifetime gigs. That's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
So, but I'm pretty relaxed. But I do have a real like aggression. It's kind of like an MMA fighter or a boxer. You're just ready. You just keep it cool, but when you get up there, you gotta throw every punch you got. So I really work hard at staying in shape on my instrument and physically so I can deliver. Because people paying their hard-earned cash to come see me play, I want them to walk away and be really happy that they came to the show. So, but prior to show, there's not too much of a ritual, really. We get up on that stage. That's why it's nice sometimes when I'm wireless because I can check, see if my bass is on. Like, hold on a second. Okay, we're good. All right, lights, house lights. So, but not so much a ritual, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you can really tell, like, seeing you on stage, it's like you're attacking that mic, especially when you're, like, doing backup vocals or whatever. You can, there's, like, an attack in there. I've seen other people that done, like, backup vocals or whatever, and they're just kind of, like, almost calling it in, and you're never calling it in. It's...
Yeah, I just did vocals for, well, thank you very much. I just did vocals for all my vocal parts of the new Talas record. Ooh. We're doing a record. Last time we played together was 1985.
Oh my God!
And here we are, 35 years later. The drummer is as amazing as ever. The singer is great. We got 2 tracks from our original guitar player too, and so I just did I do like half lead vocals on 2 songs. So I had to go to my engineer's house and sing, and we're singing. He's in the same room. We're wearing headphones in the same room instead of being off in a vocal booth. And so he was in there with me, and he kept. He's saying, "You're pushing it to this close to blowing your voice out and hitting it." Because it's real. I can't really sing unless I hit it hard. And singing is. I had this great vocal coach named Ron Anderson. He's just a genius. When Bono blows his voice out, they fly Ron Anderson in to fix it. He's great. He's the man, and he's taught me so much about getting my pitch and my accuracy and where to breathe from. And I've sung my whole life, but he really helped me fine tune it even more. So I do hit it hard. And on stage, back in Mr. Big, we'd get done with the show. We'd always say, well, look, if somebody's bleeding, we know we had a good show.
God. Ooh. Oh, man. I don't know if I want to be in the same band with you, Billy, man.
I would be scared. I think any guitar player would be scared to be in a band with you. It's almost like, I don't even know, like, did Paul Gilbert say calm down a little bit? Like, because I love Mr. Big and I love all the bands you played with, and it's almost like, my God, man. Like, the guitar player has to be sober to be in a band with you.
Yeah.
Well, I've been very lucky to play with some great players, and I'm happy to say that they're all really wonderful people too, and dear friends of mine. And most everybody in every band I've been in, I'm still very good friends with, and we have a great relationship. I've been lucky to well, a lot of the bands I chose the people, so I got lucky and I chose people that were wonderful, great. Really great people. Greg Bissonetti's amazing. Steve Vai, incredible. Paul Gilbert, Eric Martin. all the guys at Sons of Apollo, Richie Kotzen, Mike Portnoy, just great people. I still love David Lee Roth. He's still my hero. So it's I've been very lucky, to have be surrounded by supremely talented people who've been inspiring to me, but also awfully nice people as well.
Wow.
Yeah, those guys. Those, like, you basically named everyone I listen to. Like everyone that, like, I'm like an extreme fan of Richie Kotzen. I mean, Derek even knows the dude. I met him a few times, but like, whoa, like he just did the 50 for 50 album, and I'm just like, it took me. I said this before, like 4 car rides to listen to it. Like I usually listen to stuff when I'm running or like working out or driving, and I can't work out hard enough or long enough to listen to that album. But every song is amazing. And those dudes are all super nice, it seems.
Yeah, he's a superstar. When we put the Winery Dogs together, I said, well, if we accomplish one thing, I would like the world to know about Richie. Because a lot of people say, oh, he wasn't that guy that played in Poison for a while, right? Yeah, it's true. And Poison guys are good. It's a different kind of music. But he's also the guy that replaced Alan Holdsworth in Stanley Clark's band, called the name of the band was It'll Come to Me. Anyway.
It's the Jazz Trio. He did 2 albums with them, right?
Yeah.
What the hell's the name of it?
Virtu.
Yeah. And he also did an album with is it Greg Howe? Where he did like 2 fusion albums where they just went back and forth like crazy stuff.
Yeah, he's a great player, and what a voice, and what a great writer. So the Winery Dogs, my 3 records that I really feel the most strongly about were Eat 'Em and Smile, Mr. Big Lean Into It, and the first Winery Dogs record. Those are records that I played for my friends the moment I got them. Where a lot of times, you do a record and you do your best, but sometimes it just doesn't hit you. Yeah. But those 3 records hit me, and Richie was a super important component of that for sure.
Yeah, those are amazing albums. I listen to them now when I'm like, dude, you gotta stop listening to that crap. Let's put this on. Like, let's listen to this on the radio. Like even it's in Lean Into It when they even talk about. There's a line that says like Stevie on the radio. Basically, what's the name of that song? It's the one about being in your car. It's a Stevie on the. I keep forgetting. God damn it, I'm being the worst fan ever. But it's an awesome song, and that's how that song makes me feel, just like being in the car on the radio with the Mr. Big song. But like all of your tunes.
Alive and Kickin'?
Alive and Kickin', yeah. And so it's like with Stevie in the radio, right, looking through the back mirror or whatever. But I'm not a singer, I'm a guitar player, so. But I just love that song, and that song makes you feel like, most of your songs make me feel like cool when I listen to it. Like the coolest version of me. Yeah, I'm John Travolta and staying alive.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Man, Billy.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was just gonna ask, like, you gotta the way you play the way you play the bass is like so much attack, and you gotta play like 100 other instruments, right? Like, do you consider what's like your second instrument other than your voice?
Well, I do play guitar. I'm up. I always say I'm up to like Neil Young level of guitar. But I can kind of fake shred on guitar because, but I can't. The things I do on bass, I can't do them on guitar. Bass is really a different animal. It's a different thing. I'm using my fingers, and plucking is a whole different thing. Where guitar, I use like a stone pick. It's been my favorite thing since the 70s. I get these picks made of stone.
Wow.
And I can fake my way through, like on a Steve Vai tour one time, me and Tony McAlpine would switch. I give him my bass and he'd give me his guitar. And we're all jamming on the stage. And at one point they let me just go on guitar. It was hilarious. But it was kind of actually fake. But it was meant to just be entertaining. I wasn't trying to really play. But when I write songs, the chords to sing to, it's easier on guitar than on bass. And I can fake my way on a keyboard. I can fake my way around on the drums. But one thing that was quite challenging, when Mr. Big played Japan, I think 2 tours ago, as our encore song, we always like to switch instruments. So they came up with Brown Sugar by the Stones. And our drummer, God rest his soul, Pat Torpy, he can play guitar, but he doesn't really know anything about it. So our guitar player, Paul, put tape on the neck to show him where to, because the guitar is tuned to a chord. So you just got to put one finger on and move it around. So he had tape with numbers on it for how to play the song. And I think Eric played drums and Paul sang lead. And I forgot how it went, but somehow I got off stage and I managed to, and I didn't tell him when we were rehearsing, because we rehearsed the encore song kind of quick. I didn't tell him in rehearsal that I went out and found a friend and learned how to do the sax solo in Brown Sugar, because I grew up playing in a horn band, so I knew a lot of great sax players, trumpet, trombone. So I knew I could get a tone out of all of them. I couldn't really play them, but I could, I might, when you first heard it, you go, wow, I didn't know you.
Yeah.
No, I can't. So I got to play I came out with the saxophone and people went crazy. It was hilarious. And I actually, because the solo is pretty simple. And then wiggle, 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 wiggle. But the high note, I could never find the button to make that note. I go, and I could never get, and one time I'm in that's how I always got my own dressing room. I warm up on sax, everybody would clear out. So I managed, I got this one. What's this thing down here? I found it. So, but finally for the last show, I hit the right note on the thing. So
Yeah, for the last show. Oh, finally got it.
Yeah, I would just have a pitch shifter or something. It's like, if I can't get the last note, I'll just like use a pedal. Get that up there.
A little whammy pedal. Oh, I think a good friend of mine, I think Matt Starr played drums with you on that.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I played
You're
on
a wonderful guy.
Yeah, he's so cool. He has that mustache. He's a hard hitter too.
Yeah, we jammed a bit before the situation occurred in Mr. Big where we needed another drummer.
Right.
Our drummer Pat, sadly, he contracted Parkinson's, and he really couldn't play a kit anymore because it just drains you of energy, unfortunately. But he would get up and do 2 songs, and then eventually went down to 1 song that eventually couldn't play. But Matt, and he and Matt became best buddies too. They'd be in the dressing room talking about hi-hats. I'd go away, come back an hour and a half later, and they're still talking about hi-hats. Drummers hang, But he did a great job, and we're very grateful for his contribution to and how kind he was to our drummer Pat, and how understanding he was situation that none of us could see coming. So he's a wonderful guy.
Oh, that's so good. That's awesome.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Shall we do the final?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. You can throw any questions legal, except for who were your influences. I've answered that 1,000 times.
Okay. Yeah, no, we don't ask.
Yeah, I don't think that's there. Let me see. Okay, all 5 of them are that question. Number 1. What is the most important piece of gear, secret weapon while on tour or in studio?
Well, it would probably be my Pierce preamp, which was a preamp I had made by a guy named Dan Pierce in about 1979. And it did everything I needed, everything I wanted, and sounded amazing. And it was just a glorious piece of equipment. And I loved it so much that recently Line 6 makes Helix, which is all these modeled amps. Mm-hmm. And I took it to them because I know some of the guys there. And they modeled my actual Pierce preamp. And that's the Pierce preamp that's in the Helix that you buy in a store. You now have an exact model of my preamp, which is nice because if I ever need it anywhere and I don't have it, it's in the Helix in any local music store.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Works great. Right on.
Okay, number 2. What is the most memorable or crazy story from the road?
Wow, there are so many. There is an encyclopedia's worth, and it's in several volumes. We had a riot in all of our tours. On Eat 'Em and Smile, it was particularly amazing because it was me, Steve, and Greg, entered into Dave's world, which was the biggest front man in the world and the biggest rock star in the world at the time. Yep. And it was quite amazing. I remember they came, Life magazine came to send a photographer out to take a photo of us. At the end of the show, we turn our backs to the audience and get the audience to cheer, and they take a photo. So they did. we were excited about it. And we found out that they're not going to use the photo. What happened? Well, so many girls pulled their tops up. And it was sea of tits, so they couldn't use the photo.
A sea of tits.
But there's a lot of amazing things. But as far as shenanigans go, I just want to add, we always were the respectful. We were the good guys, you know. And there wasn't even on Eat 'Em a Smile. There was on our bus. There was no drugs, no drug thing. You know, I haven't even had an aspirin since 1971.
Wow.
I don't do any drugs at all. You know, I never tried cocaine. I enjoy some wine or whatever else, a couple drinks, or maybe more than a couple once in a while. But you know, we were pretty straight shooters. Myself, Steve, Greg, and Brett, and Dave was wonderful to us too. He was on a different bus, so I can't speak for that bus.
Right.
But we were always respectful to people, and we considered a great honor if you know, we could hang out with a couple of young ladies at any given time. It was a wonderful thing. I made a lot of friends, and I'm still in touch with many of them now. They got grandkids and everything. But it was a cool thing, you know.
That's so cool, man.
That is
I love
awesome.
hearing that. That's like, I want to go.
And also, like, going back to the, like, a little bit of wine, our good friend Tony Franklin, he did a video where he, like, cuts up an avocado, like, in the suspense of him seeing if the avocado is good or not. And I see on your feed, you post, like, maybe you cook a pizza and then you have a wine pairing. I was thinking you could do, like, a rock and roll show where you're, like, cooking and wine pairings.
Yeah.
It just seems...
That's great. I'd love to. Yeah, I do a lot of cooking now, and I do. You know, my wife's Italian, and so she has some incredible cooking skills on top of it too. So, and I learned from my mom the seat of the pants, no recipe kind of cooking. And people always write, "Well, what's the recipe?" Then I go, I just kind of throw it together. So,
Yeah, that's ultimate improv. That's jazz cooking right there.
good way of putting it.
Yeah. Number 3. This one might be a long one. What are your tips for songwriting?
Listen to great music. Listen to great songs by great songwriters and see how it goes. Everyone takes from somewhere. Every artist takes from somewhere. In every form of art, too. The great painters, when they being trained classically, they duplicate the great painters from history. And they try to make a version of, you know, Rembrandt or the great painters of the past. Writers also. Hunter S. Thompson is a famous writer in America, wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I believe. Mm-hmm. I forgot which book it was, but he took an old classic novel, big, thick classic, like War and Peace or something like that, and sat at a typewriter and copied the entire novel on his typewriter to get the feel of what it would be like to write a book like that. And for myself, I played copy bands. We copied great songs. We played great songs. So we knew, okay, here's the intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, solo, chorus out. We knew how all the formats that you did on these songs to learn them. And the Beatles were a copy band. Their first record, Please Mr. Postman, A Taste of Honey, Twist and Shout, all copy tunes.
Yeah.
Van Halen was a copy band. AC/DC was a copy band. Almost everybody learns by copying those that came before us and then expanding on it later. So I remember seeing younger players, I just want to play only original music. Well, if you can just play original music without ever having played a song by another artist, you are pretty amazing. And maybe there's some people out there like that. But everybody, ask any musician who's achieved success. And I've got all these, Elton John, one of the greatest songwriters ever, along with his Bernie Taupin, his lyricist. Mm-hmm. I've got in my iTunes, he used to just play on those fake records that sounded like the real artist, so they could sell it at a discount. But yeah. I've got Elton John playing all other people's songs before he was ever known. Before I don't think he was even called Elton John then. But he would play the fake records that made you think it was the real band, and you bought it from the TV advertisement. Then you got it and find out it wasn't the real one. So everybody played a copy band. So for a writer, sit down and play Sgt. Pepper's on a guitar, or any great record by any great band in any genre. Learn a Rush album or AC/DC album or a Meshuggah record or a Goat Whore record. Even who knows?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good idea. Damn. Because I had this idea, like I'm also in film school now too, so I'm learning filmmaking and screenwriting, and I never thought about like breaking down, like rewriting somebody else's script. Right. But I've noticed a lot of, like, we've talked about this before, actually, like on an episode coming up, that a lot of legends, they start off with covers, even like the breakthrough, like Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, like it kind of shows off how awesome you are. And I would actually love it if Winery Dogs did a spaghetti incident where you guys just did all your favorite tunes. It would be so awesome.
I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. Yeah, Mike is quite a cover tune aficionado, and myself too. Generally, if I have a guitar and a couple glasses of wine, a couple of around, one time I did, we went for about 6 hours. We went in for an early dinner after a clinic I did, and a girl came in and she was at the guitar clinic that I just said. I said, "You got a guitar with you?" She goes, "In the car." I go, "Bring it in." About 6 in the evening, and it was summertime, so the sun was still out. So we started playing and singing, and there was nobody in the place. Then there was 10 people, 20 people, 40, 60, 80, 100, and everybody came in. I never got to eat that night. I got plenty to drink, but I never got to eat. And we sang Beatles, Beach Boys, Stones, Three Dog Night, Grand Funk Railroad, Supreme. We just went out and everybody singing and playing. It was to know a lot of songs like that helps your playing, helps your song sense, helps your ability to jam. When somebody gets up on stage, you've already been through almost every song or playing situation ever. Plus, now you got songs you can jam. Some younger players say, "Well, let's jam. What do you want to jam on? What songs do you know?" I don't know any songs. What can we do here?
Yeah.
So it's good to know a lot of songs.
Yeah. A lot of people, they just know like instructional videos. I got that one lick from Paul Gilbert, and I'll play that like for an hour.
Yeah.
And it's good, it's good to expand in all directions, but songwriting will never let you down. Once you start writing songs and you get good at songwriting, you write your own ticket. That's your thing. You will get royalty checks. If you're lucky enough to get recorded, your songwriting is the to a lot of people, that's their whole retirement fund, is those checks coming in from writing a song. We still get checks from Mr. Big for all the stuff we did. So we and all the catalog of songs I've done over the years. Every 6-8 months a check will come in the mail, and we're still getting paid for it. Stuff's still getting played all over the world. So songwriting is super essential, ultra essential. And you can, like any craft, you can improve. You can improve on it. And if I do a record, sometimes there are like 40 songs, and throw away 20, end up recording 18, throwing 6 of those away, and there's my 12 for the record. You know what I mean? So just you really, if you have an abundance of material, you can always pick the best from it. And there's great courses and books on songwriting too. So there's all kinds of research you can do.
Damn, awesome. Yeah. And just saying, if you release those other 28 songs, it still beat most of the stuff on the radio.
Yeah, seriously.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then I woke up.
Okay, number 4.
What is your favorite lick or technique that has helped your playing?
Well, back in 1974, I went to see Billy Gibbons play at the opening for Alice Cooper and Buffalo, New York in 1974. And he did a thing where he was playing. And no one had ever seen that. He touched the string to a fret with his right hand. We looked at each other like, "Did you see that?" That was before this became every guitar player's go-to technique. So I went home and I look, it works. Not only that, when you take it off, you get another note. So that basically became the beginning of me doing all the all that nonsense that I do. So that was a pretty important one. And then I also have later on in 1978, Van Halen came out, and I was, of course, crushed because I thought I might be the only guy doing this. But in fact, Eddie deserves all the credit, not only for popularizing it, but he was amazing at it, and he did it in ways that I hadn't even thought of yet. So I always have to give him credit. But I always gave Billy Gibbons credit for its origination. So one time, I'm in a studio, and I went to visit Lita Ford. She's a dear friend of mine in L.A. And so I went down there, and I didn't know, but as a surprise, Billy Gibbons was there. So I walked in and go, holy cow, unbelievable, Billy Gibbons. So Lita had to record, so me and Billy sat there and just shot the breeze for a while, talking about all kinds of stuff. He's a walking encyclopedia. He knows everything about every band and every guitar and every amp and every car. He's just brilliant and a wonderful, sweet guy. And so we talked for hours, and it was time to go. And I said, thanks so much. Here, I'll even get it off the wall to show you. Give me 1 second.
Yes. Oh, I can't believe Billy just performed right now.
So he goes to me. He says, hold on a second. I got something for you. And I go, what? And he reaches in his bag, and he pulls out this
Whoa.
framed and signed to me. And I was like, wow, what? Well, I'm so surprised. I had no idea. Like, I didn't even know he knew who I was, And he goes to me, because in every interview I always said, you must have gotten the hammer-ons from Ed Van Halen. I go, no, it was Billy Gibbons. Ed Van Halen? No, it was Billy Gibbons. Where'd you get hammer-ons from? I got it from Billy Gibbons. Billy Gibbons, Billy Gibbons. I say that all the time. So sure enough, he gave this to me, and he says, I read what you've been saying about me in the interviews. And he goes, keep it up.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
Damn, he had it ready for you.
What if he didn't know you were coming and he just carries it all the time?
Yeah. He just like one day he'll bump into you.
He's and he actually ended up playing on one of my solo records, on the Holy Cow record, and he came in. He had a Fender Telecaster with him, but he might have grabbed the wrong one because it was strung a little heavy for him. So I had a $100 Chinese Strat somebody gave me as a joke gift. And I tuned the strings down 5 frets to low B. So the strings were flopping around on there. And I said, well, the only other guitar I have like that is, give this a try. And he goes, okay, I'll do it with this. So through my Line 6 pod on a $100 Strat with floppy strings, he played the track. And it came out great. And I played for my friends before they knew it. I go, guess who the guitar player is? And instantly they go, Billy Gibbons? You can instantly tell that it's him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's in his hands, 100%.
Yeah, there's like that thing that they say if Steve Vai and Van Halen switch amps, they're still Steve Vai and Van Halen, no matter what.
I think Ted Nugent and Ed Van Halen did switch amps one time, and that actually happened. And Ted sounded like Ted, and Ed sounded like Ed.
Yeah, Derek went on tour with Ted for a while.
Yes, I opened up for Ted and Steve as well. I was just so great. They invited me. They saw some YouTube video and they're like, "You come on!" And I was like, "Oh, thank you." That's how cool those guys are. Like yourself, you're just like, you're doing this right now. It's like you don't have to, but you're like,
my pleasure.
oh.
Yeah.
This is one of the most enjoyable interviews I've done in many months. So thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah!
Yeah, we just want it to be like fun and inspirational, and like when we leave, for sure we're gonna practice for the next 20 years of our life because of you. Just you playing the bass for 2 seconds.
I can't believe
I'm gonna try to tab it out, and then we'll see what happens. And I'm a guitar player. I need to figure this out.
Yep. Wow.
Right on.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so number 5.
Number 5. The last question. Okay. I don't want to leave this interview.
I know.
But what is
I'll make it a long answer.
Yes.
But what is the best advice you would give a person looking to do what you do?
Well, it's been a lot of people don't realize how much actual work goes into it. I spend hours almost every day working, like heavy lifting, working on my bass or something related to it. And as a result, I grew up, I didn't get married till about 15 years ago. I don't have a family. I sacrificed everything for that thing. Now, there's a lot of musicians that sacrifice even more than I, and they do have a family. It depends on how you live your life. But for me, that was my entire focus for a very long time. So if you can focus in that manner, I believe anything is possible. So that's a good thing. So if you have a real dream out there someday, it can happen. I grew up with 3 or 4 people that all had these dreams, and they all came true to the letter, and they were impossible in a lot of ways. They all got their dreams exactly. I had a sax player friend of mine, passed away sadly about 2 years ago, and he was just this great sax player, and he wanted to play like in these big bands with Woody Herman and Maynard Ferguson and Buddy Rich Band and all that. He played with all of them, and he became one of the most iconic players, tenor and alto players around. Great. Another friend of mine, I know a guy that works with Steve Vai, a great rhythm guitar player, Dave Weiner. He's a wonderful guy, and there was a call for an intern in Steve's office, and he was at MI. And Steve didn't know, but at Dave's home, he had posters of Steve Vai up. He was a huge Steve Vai fan. So sure enough, he starts working for Steve. And Steve finds out he plays guitar. He goes, "How good are you?" "Well, I can play this." "Okay. Can you book hotels?" "Yeah." "Can you book flights?" "Okay. So why don't you come out on tour and be the tour manager? But I also need you to play rhythm guitar." And sure enough, here he is in Steve's band now.
Oh my God.
It can happen to anyone, if you really have that. So I want to put that hope and optimism in everyone, but also temper it with the idea that there's no guarantee that anything will happen. So, you can work all your life and really be amazing and still not have it happen. Why? There's usually a reason buried somewhere, but treat people as best you can. I do my best. I fail sometimes. We all do. And get there early and stay late. Do more. Go the extra mile. All those things. And I think no matter what it is you want to do, you can make it happen. And I said earlier, I'm very, very lucky, very grateful. I play with great players in wonderful bands. I'm very, very honored and thankful for that. And had a wonderful career, not only in USA, but all over the world, too. We play in South America. It's pandemonium. In Japan, it's crazy. Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. I got more email from Indonesia than anywhere in the world. It's amazing. I get email from Afghanistan, from India, from Iraq, from Iran, all over the place, And it's quite an amazing thing. Anyone can do it. But it's if there's 1,000 people listening, if one does it, that's a lot percentage-wise. But I still believe anyone can do it. So at some point, you've got to just keep on that focus and forget about any shenanigans and get to work. And it's, I think, if somebody applies themselves, they can kick my ass if they worked at it hard enough. No problem. I'm sure.
I think it'd be pretty hard.
That's got a lot of application right there. Oh, God. That's so perfect. Well, we do this podcast for musicians and for people who might want to be musicians and people who want to be any form of artists, or just people who love music and this is exactly what they need to hear, I believe.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. There's a great book called "This Is Your Brain on Music." It talks about the music's effect on our mind, on how we think, how therapeutic it is for some people. I mean, you guys probably even know yourselves, when you're in a bad state of mind, you put on the right record and you're good, you're okay.
Yeah.
It'll bring you back, and I'm very much like that myself. Music is a powerful, powerful thing. My mom on her deathbed was, she was home at hospice care. in the house, and we were all there. We knew, her time was going to come. It wasn't an unpleasant or dark thing. We knew she had led a long and great life, wasn't in any pain, but she was kind of fading in and out. My sister Marianne said to me, well, "You got your laptop with your iTunes here?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Put some Sinatra on." My mom was a huge Frank Sinatra fan, so we did. And my mom instantly, "Oh yeah, that song was from the whatever record," and she knew what song it was and and she was as lucid as ever. At that moment, she heard that music, and it's very common now. Like in a lot of homes with old folks in them, they play songs from when they were 16 years old, and they come alive. Something magic about the year 16 years old. People in music, you probably experience the same thing. Yeah. When you're 16, those records that you had, probably you could still play them in your head front to back without interruption. So it's a very powerful tool and a very therapeutic thing. And to be a musician or just to be a music fan, it really can help you see the world in a better light, I believe.
Yeah, that's so true. Goddamn. Super heavy, man. Super awesome.
Thank you, Billy Sheehan.
Yeah.
My
right now,
pleasure.
right now, especially during like this time, the pandemic and all this.
Yeah.
We don't even like talking about it, but that's like something people's gotta hear. Like it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it. It's happened before. Even when Shakespeare was doing his plays, it was a bubonic plague. They couldn't have crowds, so they had to stop doing the plays. Unfortunately, there is a precedent. It's happened before. It'll be over. We'll get through it. We'll be okay. I feel for the crew guys, or roadies and techs, because they're a lot of them are hurting. I'm doing whatever I can to help them. I'm in pretty good shape. There's a lot of other musicians that might not be. A lot of people might lose their homes, and so it's hopefully that'll be over soon. Everybody get back to work. We'll get back to normal. Get back to live shows, and I'm obeying the rules. I got my mask. I do it all. So I'm playing by the rules. But I hope it's over soon, and we can all get back to the business at hand, which is performing.
Yeah, that's it, man. I have one more question. This is the last one. Just because it's we're gonna release this like in 3 weeks for Halloween.
Halloween.
What are you gonna be for Halloween?
That's your favorite holiday? That's my favorite holiday.
I love it. So when I was a kid going to school, I went to Catholic school, so we had the day after Halloween off.
Oh yeah.
So we scored so we could stay out late because we didn't have to be home. And so we'd be trick or treating until 11 o'clock out there. Again. Come home with bags of candy, and we had a riot. We always had amazing costumes and Halloween. Plus, Halloween is the autumn and the fall and the smell of the leaves and everything, and the smell of the pumpkin, the lid of the pumpkin when the candle burns it when you put the candle, the smell of that thing, and it's just a great holiday for me. I love it very much. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but we'll think of something. I know I don't think she can hear me. She's upstairs, my wife. I would like to really prank her viciously. Just to get some, like, go outside and rig up with fishing line, like some head that comes up as she's washing dishes or something like that. So just really get her. So she'll maybe start a tradition. Well, next Halloween she'll go after me. So who knows?
Oh, Jesus.
So that's the answer. It's not treat, it's trick.
Yeah, not treats, only tricks.
Only tricks with Billy Sheehan.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for doing the show. Like, I would keep you for so long just to talk about anything you want to, but I think we got lives, right? But you.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, if you ever need me again, let me know. If I got a record coming out or whatever, if you want me to talk about it or anything, we can do it again anytime you like.
Awesome. This is so awesome. We love you so much. Thank you again. Also,
I mean it. This is my favorite interview in many, many months. Thank you, John.
Yes.
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 Yeah! Yes, Billy Sheehan!
Thank you so much for doing the show. Next week we have a badass guest, so stick around, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Stick around.
Please stay alive. Bye.
Yes, bye.